But let me tell you something. If I'm the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he ain't going no damn place. You know why? Because he's white.
Damn.
He's a white baller. That's right, I said it.
Stand on
and
business.
I mean it. The fact that he's white makes him that much more attractive. He's a white American.
Makes
that
sense.
makes him incredibly marketable right here in these United States, and especially in Dallas, Texas.
Stephen A. Smith talks about the Dallas Mavericks drafting Cooper Flagg. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Let's get to the other NBA headline that sent shockwaves through the league on Monday night.
Very
and that's
shocking.
The Dallas Mavericks winning the draft lottery. The Mavs had only a 1.8% chance of winning the lottery after being eliminated in the Western Conference Finals play-in game to end a tumultuous season. If you remember, Kyrie Irving went down with a torn ACL, and fans were ready to drive GM Nico Harrison out of town for the trade that sent Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. Well, now they have a chance to secure another generational talent in Duke's Cooper Flagg, a two-way player with the first overall pick in the draft. Couple of things. Number one, I was very, very happy for Nico Harrison. Because when you see the way Luka played defense, how many people were blowing by him during the playoffs, you saw what a defensive liability he was and what level of that played in the success that the Lakers were not able to reap.
That is true.
You hear Nico Harrison talking about trying to win championships and acquiring somebody like Anthony Davis and improving their defense exponentially. If Kyrie Irving hadn't gone down, who's to say what Dallas would have done?
Yeah, I get it. Nico Harrison, he's looking like a genius right now. You get rid of Luka, 4 or 5 months later, you got the opportunity to draft Cooper Flagg with the number 1 pick. But I don't think the Mavs fans are just going to forgive Nico just because they have the opportunity to get a Cooper Flagg, which is still a prospect. We don't know how he's going to be. Yeah, he may have player comps and he can be this player, that player, a great two-way player. But Luka Doncic, he's pretty much a ready product, a finished product for the most part, especially on the offensive end. Could get better on defense, could get in shape, but you know what you had with Luka Doncic. So, yeah, you're going to get Cooper Flagg if you're the Mavs as of right now, unless they decide to trade the number 1 pick to the Lakers for Bronny James. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to make a terrible mistake like that unless they have the opportunity to get a Giannis and try to get a package deal. You'd have to get a guaranteed player, an all-star, superstar player in order to give up that number 1 pick. So, yeah, they have the opportunity to get Flagg. I guess it's great for Nico Harrison. A lot of fans, they're ready to do something crazy to him. So, hopefully those fans can calm down. Don't do nothing stupid. Let the man play it out and see what he can do to help rebuild this team. But a lot of it's on the ownership. He's just the face of the BS. So, hey, he got to carry it out and make those trades. It's on the ownership. But a lot of the fans, they're not going to see the owners. They're not able to pull up on them. They're able to see Nico Harrison. They're able to do something stupid. So, it is what it is. We're going to see what happens moving forward with that Mavs pick if they get Cooper Flagg.
So I think we have to pay attention to that. We can't ignore that reality.
Yep.
With that being said, because Nico Harrison made the trade, did y'all know there were cops in his backyards all the time in his front yard? You know that he's been under heavy security since the trade. People threatening him, threatening his life, bothering his family, etc. Do you realize what this man has had to go through?
That's crazy.
And now it may end up being that he looks like a genius when all is said and done. Because if the Dallas Mavericks are winning and the Los Angeles Lakers are not, where does that leave Nico Harrison then?
Yeah, the Mavs look a lot better right now, him and Nico, after Luka and the Lakers got bounced out in the first round in 5 games. So they're looking great. That's good for the Mavs fans. Like, okay, the Lakers lost, but as far as threats on Nico's life, they're taking it too far. I get it, you're fanatics, but this is a game of basketball. You still got to go to work in the morning, so you don't need to be crashing out on Nico Harrison just because they traded your beloved Luka Doncic. Even though it was a stupid trade overall, you got an injured player in return with Anthony Davis that can't even play more than 60 games in a season consistently. I get being upset, but those Mavs fans got to chill out. I'm a Heat fan. I'm pissed off too at the organization, but I'm not going to crash out on Pat Riley and do nothing stupid. But I get it. You want to be a fan, but got to move accordingly. But overall, yeah, Mavs fans, they're happy right now. Luka didn't do good, but a lot of the fan base, they still rock with Luka because he didn't force his way out. He just got traded randomly, according to all the reports, but could have been some stuff behind the scenes in the background. But it is what it is, man. Hopefully Nico Harrison can build out that championship team with Cooper Flagg.
If Luka Doncic is in L.A., but he ain't getting it done, where does that leave the Los Angeles Lakers? I think those are legitimate questions to ask, particularly when you're considering Nico. Now, to get to the Dallas Mavericks, let me say this real quickly to you. Cooper Flagg doesn't need to go anywhere. I understand if you're the Dallas Mavericks, you got assets you could trade for somebody, let's say like a Giannis Antetokounmpo. You don't need 3 hefty salaries on your books, particularly in the age of the second apron with the collective bargaining agreement threatening to ravage your franchise financially. You don't need that problem because Giannis would have to be paid along with AD, along with Kyrie.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the money part. I was just thinking about having another all-star, superstar talent like Giannis to kind of solidify a possible championship in 2 to 3 years. But if the Mavs don't want to go that direction and don't want to pay those crazy salaries, you already got Kyrie and AD making a lot of money. Then you add another Supermax player, you're going to be over the luxury tax. They're going to be looking like the Boston Celtics, $500 million in salary, some crazy stuff going on. So you don't want that if you're the Mavs. One of the reasons why you didn't want to pay Luka $300 to $400 million was because of all the question marks. Is he going to be dedicated? Is he going to lose the weight? All that other stuff. You don't have to worry about that with Giannis, but you're still going to be paying a lot of money and be over the luxury tax. So they might as well keep Cooper Flagg. He's the future for the next 10 years.
And Cooper Flagg, under that rookie wage scale, essentially, you don't have that problem. Number two, he's a two-way player. He's a baller. He ain't a big-time bona fide shooter, so he's not the second coming of Larry Bird, but damn it, he looks the part. Which brings me to my other point. We know that Cooper Flagg can ball. We know this is the Cooper Flagg draft. We've known that since he entered college as a member of the Duke Blue Devils. But let me tell you something. If I'm the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he ain't going no damn place. You know why? Because he's white. He's a white baller. That's right, I said it.
Okay.
And I mean it.
Damn.
There's very, very few people that's going to be as marketable as Cooper Flagg. If Cooper Flagg is the player we believe him to be. I ain't telling you ignore his talent and just draft and just keep him because he's white. I'm saying because he's a big-time baller who's expected to be a big-time baller on a pro level, the fact that he's white makes him that much more attractive. He's a white American.
I get it from a marketable standpoint, but, the NBA is predominantly black as far as, the main players that are getting the huge endorsement deals, getting plastered all over the TV. Now we're starting to see the Europeans and people overseas like Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Shay Gilgeous-Alexander. International players, they're starting to get the shine too, but I get it. You have a white guy from America, marketable, all-American type talent. But there's some other white guys in the NBA that's marketable, that's not getting the same shine. So I get it. They may not have had the same hype as Cooper Flagg, but what about a Tyler Hero? Averaging 24 points per game, can shoot the 3-ball, getting compared to Steph Curry. Why isn't he being taught as being marketable out there? So I think people pick and choose who they want to title being marketable to. I get it because he has a lot of hype coming out of Duke, but can't sleep on the other white players out there. But at the end of the day, man, maybe it'll work out for Cooper Flagg, him being white and possibly getting those huge deals.
That makes him incredibly marketable right here in these United States, and especially in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, I get it.
And I say Texas because I get that from my buddy Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. The Texas. And by the way, I saw an advertisement of Cooper Flagg. Did y'all know they had the flag behind them? Did you know that? During the NCAA tournament, they had the flag behind them. I mean, my God.
Good marketing scheme.
The only promo I saw better than that, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything like that, but I've been on the record saying that when candidate Trump got and you saw the trickling down his ear and the right side of his face, and then you saw him stand up surrounded by Secret Service agents, and he's pumping his fist, fight, 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 and the American flag was behind him. You knew then chances of him losing the election was slim to none. Now let's bring it back to basketball. Flagg, with the flag behind him. The brother ain't from the streets of Chicago or New York or LA. He's from Maine.
Yeah, I get it. The marketability, it makes sense putting it that way. Cooper Flagg, the American flag, maybe the new ownership group, maybe they'll gravitate more toward Cooper since he's an American-bred product as opposed to Luka, international, still an all-time great player, but maybe there was a disconnect between Nico Harrison, the owners, and Luka. So maybe there'll be a better bridge between Cooper, the owners, and the GM, since he's an American product, since you can kind of, put him with the American flag and you finally have an American-born white player that can get some shine. So I get it from that standpoint as far as the marketability being a U.S. product.
And he can ball. He can play. And on top of that all, white, very, very marketable. I'm not trading him. I'm going to make money for the next decade off of this brother. He's staying right there. And last but not least, when I bring up Texas, because it's important that you hear me say Texas. I told the story in First Take. I'm going to tell it to y'all right now real quick to my audience out there. So last year, I'm in Austin, Texas for the South by Southwest Conference. And I'm in my hotel room, and lo and behold, the show Martin comes on. And I'm all excited about Martin, because that's one of my all-time favorite comedians.
Classic.
And I'm watching it, and I've never seen this happen in my life. I'm watching Martin, and in the middle of the broadcast, it's interrupted. Shut off. To play the national anthem with the red, white, and blue American flag draped on the television screen. I've never seen that in my life. But as Jerry Jones would say, in Texas, we do things a little different down here. That's Cooper Flagg. A little bit different than a typical American player. Usually when you see somebody as white as him, as good as he's projected to be, they're from Europe.
Yep, Luka, all them players.
I don't know where it's from. Slovenia, Serbia, Czechoslovakia,
Yep.
France, whatever. They ain't usually from here projected to have this kind of star power. But that brother is. And he's white.
That's great. I get it. But is he going to be allowed to be that all-American U.S. flag type of person? And you know what I mean? Is he going to have to stand up for certain things that he doesn't want to stand up for, or kneel for things he doesn't want to kneel for? So all that all-American stuff is cool now. But once there's something that's going viral online, something happens to somebody, if he doesn't want to partake or speak on it or just do anything, want to align with certain thought processes, is he going to take a hit because he's that all-American United States flag? Yeah, that's some things you got to think about as well. So I get it from the marketability standpoint. Cooper Flagg, the American flag, but there's a lot of stuff in between those lines that he may have to address in the near future. But as far as the Mavs getting that number one pick, I think it's obvious you draft Cooper Flagg. You may hold off on trading him just because you don't want to go over the luxury tax and pay multiple huge $50 million per year salaries. So it may make sense with Cooper Flagg. You get him, and you can still add another decent player, get rid of a few contracts, and I think the Dallas Mavericks should have a solid season next season. Hopefully Kyrie Irving can come back from that Achilles injury and try to get this team back to the playoffs, but we'll see what happens moving forward with Cooper Flagg, the Dallas Mavericks, and that number one pick.